Hey guys, Simon here from howdoyoumakeasite.com. Now I'm making this video kind of in a response to a lot of the really bad videos currently on YouTube. Now I don't want to point any fingers or name any names, but there's some really terrible advice out there for you YouTube viewers, and basically what I wanted to do was show you how you can make your own website using a really powerful platform and get the whole thing set up for under $10 and in under 20 minutes. So if you bear with me, all of this information that I'm about to tell you is available in a pretty easy to read format on howdoyoumakeasite.com. So you're going to need three things. You're going to need a domain name, you're going to need a web host, and then you're going to need a platform. So let's cover those individually. The first thing you're going to need is a domain name. So the first thing that I recommend you do when you're looking for a new domain name is you use an Ajax domain tool. And I've got one up here. It's domainspot.com. Now don't worry, all of these links are on my site and they're also down below in the description. So domainspot.com is a really cool little Ajax tool that will allow you to search for domain names without having to do a fresh search every time you think of a new name. So let's take Orange County Pet Sitters. You're a pet sitter and you live in Orange County and you need a domain name for your new website. So let's see what is available. We'll go OC Pet Sitter and we can see straight away that the .com isn't available. Now if you're going to buy a domain name for a business, I'd strongly suggest you go with a .com. If you absolutely have to, you can use .net or .org. Don't ever go with .info, biz, US, TV or any of those, because they're almost impossible to get good rankings in the search engines. So we can see OC Pet Sitter isn't available. Let's try some different variants. Let's add in a couple of hyphens. OC Pet Sitter.com. So there we go. That's a perfect domain name for what we're looking for. So we're going to go ahead and copy the domain name that we found, and we're going to go to a domain registrar. Now it doesn't really matter which domain registrar you use. I use GoDaddy just because I've used them for ages. They're really reliable. They're just as cheap as everybody else if you use the correct coupon codes, and it gets the job done. So what you want to do is from DomainSpot, when you find the perfect domain and you see that that domain name is available, go ahead and copy that directly from the box. Go to GoDaddy and paste it in there. So you'll see the domain name in a .com search, and hopefully it will tell us that the domain name is available. Now I won't go into too much detail with how to register the domain name, but it's pretty basic. You sign up for an account, you follow the steps on the screen, and you'll have a domain name. So that's got your domain name sorted. Let's take a look at the next steps. So you're going to need a web host. Now a web host is basically a computer that sits connected to the internet 24 hours a day serving websites. Now web hosts come in all different shapes, sizes, varieties. Some are free, some you've got to pay, some offer all kinds of crazy different features. So for this tutorial I'm going to focus on one type of web host, and that's a web host that offers some software built into the web host called cPanel. Now cPanel is basically web hosting for dummies. Now don't get offended with this, we've all got to start somewhere. I've been on the internet for around 10 years now and I still use cPanel purely for its ease of use. So what we're going to do is I'm going to recommend you a web host, but then I'm also going to recommend you go and use due diligence and find a web host that works for you. But for this tutorial we're going to go ahead and use HostGator, primarily because these price start at $4.95 a month. Is peanuts. If you're serious about starting your own website, you can afford $4.95 a month. Also there's a coupon code on my website. If you scroll down you can see I've got a coupon there which will give you the first month for only 1 cent. So you could come to hostgator.com and you would basically look at the plans, find a plan that's right for you. I'd suggest just go with the Hatchling plan. It's only $4.95 a month. It gives you unlimited everything. I'll go into some advanced technical web hosting stuff later on, but for now all you need to do is order it. So you go ahead and order it. Same thing with the domain name. You would create an account, you would get a welcome email with all of your account information, and that moves us on to step 3. So Okay, and step 3 is where it gets a little bit complicated, but it's not too bad. You should be able to do this following these pretty basic instructions. So what you need to do now is you need to connect your brand new domain name you've just bought with your new hosting account. Now this is taken into account you know how to access your hosting cPanel. If you went with HostGator, you should get a link in your welcome email that takes you directly to your cPanel for your domain name. And if you do, it would look like this. So once you're in your cPanel, that's great. What we want to do is we want to connect our web hosting to our domain name. So what we do is we go back into our domain name manager in GoDaddy. You can just log back in and you'll see this screen for your domain name. All you need to do is set the name servers using this link here, set name servers. And in the welcome email you got from HostGator, you'll have 2 name servers. You go ahead and enter the name servers, click OK, and give it a few minutes to update. What it does is it updates the DNS records and connects your domain name now to your web host. Okay, so you've logged into your cPanel, your web hosting is now connected to your domain name, and this is where you control what actually gets displayed on your domain name. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a very cool little tool. It's called Fantastico. Now what this is down here, usually in the software services tab, and you go ahead and click that. What this is pre-installed software applications on the web host. Now this basically means you can install all of these really cool fancy things onto your website with just a couple of clicks. You don't need any technical experience whatsoever. So what we're going to do with this tutorial is we're going to go ahead and install WordPress. Now I'll go into why we choose WordPress in another tutorial on how we customize WordPress, but for now what we're going to do is we're just going to get it installed. So you go ahead and click WordPress, and you have a couple of options. What you want to do is you want to do a new installation, and this is as basic as it gets. You've got a couple of options. Where do you want to install it? Well, you want to install it on your domain name, so it will auto-populate this for you. If you want to put it in a separate directory, you can go ahead and type that there, but you don't really need to. You want it to be installed on your domain name. You want to put admin username and then an admin password, and these username and password are what you're going to use to actually access the back end of your brand new website. Give yourself an admin nickname, put your email address, give your site a name and give your site a description, and then go ahead and click install WordPress. What that'll do is it will take you to another screen where you can complete the installation. Then when you go to your domain name, so just typing your domain name, you will see a very basic vanilla WordPress install, and that's it. So you've bought a domain name, you have connected it to a web host, and you have installed WordPress, which is the perfect CMS platform to build your very first website. In my next video tutorial, I will teach you how you change the look and feel of WordPress, how you can customize it, add a theme, add content, and all that good stuff. So hopefully you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you didn't understand anything or you need any help getting started with making your first website, feel free to leave some comments. I always check the comments on a daily basis, so any questions feel free to ask. And again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thumbs up if you like, and subscribe to get lots more valuable information on how do you make a site.